I'm just on here making a quick video. It's just so much going on. Uh, boy, oh boy. It's these kids, these young ones would definitely make you take a look in the mirror because we see a lot that they're doing, but we kind of did the same thing. Are we helping them enough? Are we really helping them enough? And I say that because uh, my daughter, she got off work and they had this uh, bike ride. It was a um, fundraiser for cancer research, and they had everything blocked off, and she couldn't find her way home. Everywhere she went, it was blocked off. Now it's frustrating. You getting off to work after working 12 hours, and you can't get home. And she was very irritated. And I'm like, I'm trying to calm her down. And then I just thought about when that happened to me. That happened to me last year. Um, what's supposed to took a 30-minute, really 20-minute drive, wind up taking almost an hour because I had to go way out my way. And I was irritated beyond belief too because for one thing, I had to use the bathroom. I'm thinking I'm just going to straight shot, wind up. That's what life is. You know, we have to be prepared for anything to happen. You know, and I want to talk a little bit about family. We're going to need family more than anything because it's so many changes that's going on. We are being targeted. We keep hearing about how uh, the government is going to make changes to Medicaid. And we have family members that depend on that. And I am so tired of people looking, these high priced people, looking at us like we're not worthy to live. Because, yes, we may have to depend on the government, but it's not like it's free because we pay taxes. That's why we have taxes to protect us, domestic and foreign. And then the way this government is going, the food is messed up, the air is messed up, the water is messed up. So we have a pretty good chance of getting sick. And it's because the government does not want to take, if they provided healthy food, healthy environment, healthy education, but they don't want that. So we have to help one another. And I hear a lot of people talking about the rent. The rent is high, and we're not making enough to live in a decent place. And that's another thing that keep people sick because you're worrying about bills and you live in a home that probably is not healthy. Because for you to get a place that you could afford, it's probably a place that's old, dilapidated, run over with insects or rodents or whatever. And I went to the gas station. Well, I went by the gas station because I said I'm not getting no gas. I'm gonna see if this stuff go down because it was like 360 the day before, and then I go back and it's like 425. Like, what the hell? What? How that happen? Now I usually don't, you know, even fret about the prices because I've seen prices go up over the years. But overnight, like in your face, I'm used to it being subtle where you don't even see it rise until it's like, wait a minute. I remember this used to be 99 cents. Mm-mm. Now, how do you go from gas being 99 cents to damn near $5? So we're gonna have to really rethink things. Do we need to go there? Can we walk? And I really, some people can't have that luxury of walking or not going somewhere because they need to. And then I'm sure you all done heard about the GDP is only 1.5 or so. What is going on? Why are we spending all? Why are we making these rich people richer? Because you know what? We're gonna have to uh just start buying the basics. We could fight this regime. We just have to just look ahead and say, no, we're not going to continue to be done like this. Because if it could get this far, how far is it going to get? I mean, it's hitting us. Some of it's hitting us really bad. Somebody out there is really going through it. You have people get sick because of the food. You have people having to deal with measles outbreak. And these people that got sick because of this lettuce, this virus, that means they're gonna have to stay off of work. What if they ain't got insurance? What if they don't have uh, a slush fund uh, in the bank account? Ain't no telling how many people done lost their job or lost their home because they couldn't work because of getting sick. And ain't nothing to do about it. Who is who really cares? Who really cares about us? And they keep saying a lot of people out here talking about they regret their vote. I wish you would. I wish somebody would say that to me because I would look at them like, and I'm sure you regret everything you've ever done in your life too. And I'm sure you have regretted being born. What are we gonna do? We're gonna help one. We got to help one another. We're gonna have to start getting along with one another, especially family. Because if you see a family member really struggling, extend a hand, help them out. That's one thing I can say about other nationalities. Whole families could stay in the same house and get along, help each other. We need to start doing that, helping one another until we can get out and make it on our own. So, so, so sad. The direction that this country is going. Because it is so sad that they put a criminal in the White House that is using all the tax money to just wasting it. When you have so many people out here that have good potentials and are suffering, what is it going to have to take before people realize the big mistake that has been made to us, on us? I would never have thought that we would be paying $4.45 for gas here. That's, and I went in the store to go buy uh some meat to go on my beans. I couldn't find nothing under $12. And that Mr. Trump had the nerve to get up there and say prices are going down. We are living in a golden age. And nobody says anything. And you have people in the back clapping their hands. So I'm just going to say this. We're going to have to get out to vote and vote for every human being in this country to be able to have a good life. And stop believing the hype. Things are the worst it's ever been in my lifetime. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy how low down we have to do our own research. We have to figure this stuff out our own. If you can, take a trip to Washington, D.C., take some pictures so we could really see what's going on. Because what I'm saying, what they done did to the White House, and then they said that he spent like millions of dollars to cover this statue with gold. The reflecting pool. Never even thought about the reflecting pool till he wanted to fix it. Now it's messed up. I really believe in what they say. Everything he touched turns to shit. And I just want to know. I'm gonna end with this. I want to know. Do they care about their children? Do their children care about their children? Because the way they messing up the land, they don't think their kids are gonna suffer, or do they think that when it get too bad that they could just leave and go live in another country? What kind of people is this that they can sit up there and see other kids suffering and they have children? Well, I didn't have much to talk about. I was just thinking that uh, we need to be honest with each other more, care about each other more, and be disciplined. I mean, I've been really disciplined. I have really just been spending my money on stuff that I need, okay? Because it's hard to break that cycle of buying everything because you bombarded with advertisement everywhere you go. They have classes. They they uh they have figured out how to get you to buy stuff. Really, they do, and that's sales. They make money on commission. They make money on selling you stuff, and most of the time, it's stuff you don't need. And I was looking at this show. It was showing. It was somebody walking around um, Orlando, and I like, oh my goodness, these women really actually dress like that. Had their behind all out. Oh my goodness. And all the trash and the garbage. Why are we living like that? I don't know. Oh no. Where are we headed? I heard this MAGA supporter talking about she think it's going to be a civil war between the Democrats and the Republicans. And the guy that was talking to her asked, "Are you going to fight in it?" She didn't have nothing to say. Like they always say, be careful what you wish for. Because they act like they don't know the history of the Civil War. It's amazing how we forget. And they forget about all the lives that were lost in 9/11 and the way that they're gutting the government and the FBI and Central Command and all of the intelligence and all this stuff. It's bound to happen. But nobody knows who, where, or when. This is serious. This is serious. It could happen to my family. It could happen to me. It could happen to anybody's family. Only because they didn't want a black woman in the White House. And I blame us because we should have did when Biden was in office, that administration should have did everything possible to make sure he never got back in office again. And they didn't do enough. Just like they're not doing enough now. They always tell me they don't have the power to do. You don't need that much power. You just need to think. Get ahead of you. You should already know what they're gonna do and get ahead of it. You know they're gonna cheat. Okay, but if you gotta cheat, you don't need to play the game. You need to be out the game. And I remember cheaters didn't make it out the building. If you used to look at westerns, they don't even have the westerns no more. Like well, old ones. You know, I grew up Saturday No, was it Sunday? Sunday was Western Day, Westerns. Saturday was cartoons. But I guess it may kids still make it up on Saturday morning, look at cartoons. I don't know. I don't know what kids do now. I don't really don't have no kids. Um, I don't talk to family members with kids. But anyway, I'm gonna get off of here. I will be back later. I'm gonna try to find me something to eat. Have a great day.